Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link.
Good morning. Yes, I still am channeling Louise Jefferson just a bit. George. But anyway, I'm doing better, you guys. Hi, welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I am a blessed and highly favored through it all, count it all joy, Lauren Michaels Harris, and welcome to another illuminated conversation, you guys. Yeah, it's been rough ever since I went to Miami. They found out, you guys. I didn't tell you guys this, but I did. I had a I'll give you the most recent one. Yesterday, back to the emergency room. This dehydration thing is no joke, you guys. Boy, the electrolytes were all akimbo, and it was just a mess, literally. Let me put it to you this way. You know that Charmin bathroom tissue commercial with those bears? I will never watch that commercial with the same insight ever again. Ever. I'm just saying. Oh, boy, thank you for pillowy soft Charmin. Thank you. That's the bell of purpose, and I'm ringing it on purpose. Why? Because just like that bell, the truth has a ring to it. And I know that we're busy. I know that we do multiple things while we're getting our content. But when it comes to golden nuggets of truth, I don't play around. So if you're busy, you hear that bell, stop what you're doing, lean in, look up, back that car up, and take some of this with you. Can I get an amen? All right. Well, you guys, I want you to say thank you, Sherry McQueen, for that Reiki that you were sending me. I know it worked. I'm just telling you. Why? Because it was like 15 minutes after you told me you were sending it, I was actually able to eat some applesauce and toast. So next time, can you Reiki me a steak? Okay, I'm just saying. But you guys, I'm so grateful to be back with you. I'd say right around 90%. And pray for me. Send Reiki, send light, love, and healing energies. We're headed back out again Thursday afternoon, headed to Atlanta. You guys know what's happening down there. I'm probably gonna pass out. I can't believe it. Where I'll be going down there and receive. You want to see it? It's hanging right over there. I brought it down here. Wait. Who saw this coming? Right? Who saw this coming? I certainly didn't. Here it is. Okay. Are you guys ready? Wait. Oh, wait. Okay, I'm not bringing the hat. Okay, I'll bring the hat. Okay. Here we go. Right. Uh-oh. Okay. Look. There's the hat, y'all. Yes. I know it. I can't believe I hear you. Oh, shoot. I dropped it on the floor. Uh-oh. See, I don't even know how to handle this sort of thing. I watched 4 YouTube videos just to learn where everything goes. Last time I had a cap and gown on was 1980 when I graduated from high school, and I would have never in a million years have seen an honorary doctorate coming in my direction, but God is good. God is good. That's what I tell you guys all the time. Follow the 4 agreements, please. Just follow the 4 agreements. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take things personally. Don't make assumptions. And always, 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 always do your best. Always. God will give you things, source, the universe, whatever it is you ascribe to. Just know that there is something greater than you out there working alongside you in all things that matter. So whatever it is that you need, it'll be there. Whatever it is you want, get what you need first, and then you can have what you want. Make sense? There we go. Listen, you guys, I know what you're going to say when you find out about my guest today. You're going to say, Lauren, wait a minute. Isn't that what you do? Why do you have somebody on your show that, listen, I tell you guys all the time, I don't care where you get it. Just get out there and get it. And I started in this career 6 years ago by speaking. And I still hold the record today on Thumbtack for having the most paid speaking gigs from them. I am one of their, what do they call, success stories, 714 paid speaking gigs from there. And then when you're doing it right, when you start getting it right, every time you speak somewhere, you get more speaking gigs from that one. I'm telling you. So not to get it confused, she's here today, Leisa Reid. And she has a book that is, this is so funny. Get speaking gigs now, right? Not to be confused with the #1 bestseller. How to Get Speaking Gigs Fast. Oh, wait, that's my book. Shameless plug. So anyway, just saying. When I go on her show, she can do that to me. But anyway, let me tell you about this lady. She's here because She's great at what she does. And you know, I love to introduce people I love to other people I love. So here, let me tell you a little bit about her. Now, as a speaker who has booked and delivered over 600 talks. Oh, isn't that sweet? 600. I'm kidding. I hope she asks me my number. I don't really. Leisa Reid coaches entrepreneurs. Oh, how to get booked. Now, there's the key. Entrepreneurs on how to get booked and stay booked. This is not a one and done shop here. This is keeping it going. Consistency. She's passionate about teaching you on how to get your talk ready to rock so that, get your talk ready to rock. Okay. So that you can attract your ideal clients through speaking. Okay. She does do something different than I do. In this session, she will share the number one secret she uses to get speaking gigs. The number one secret. Great time to share the broadcast out. I don't know about you, but I never keep a secret. So why start now? Shed it out. Share it. Now listen, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, get your ears on. You guys, this is the first timer. You know what we do? We roll out the red carpet. We put hearts on the screen, but more importantly, we put our hearts into this illuminated conversation. Welcome our guest today. She's here for the very first time, but hopefully not the last. Oh, here she comes. Leisa Reid. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm awesome. How are you? Thanks for the
Good.
lovely introduction.
You're welcome. We're glad you're here. This is a great time to be talking about this for a lot of people. We're still inside of it. And a lot of us think we're out of it, but we're not. We're still inside, not only this COVID umbrella underneath it, but we're still finding our way within this new normal. And so this is a big piece for entrepreneurs and folks who find themselves looking for a way to raise their product, their brand, their service above the chaos, above the noise. And messaging is crucial. So Leisa, I'm going to dip out for a second, let you say hello, tell them the things that I didn't mention, and then we'll get started.
Oh, thank you. And good morning, Sherry. Good morning to you. Good morning, Lori. Thanks for the warm welcome. Yeah, I absolutely love helping entrepreneurs really find their voice, find that message, because I think, and this is where I come from. And as a little kid, I always wanted to be a teacher. I could see like, oh, there's an easier way to say something or easier way to break it down, or I'll just take over and, let everyone know how easy this can be and how fun it can be. And both my parents were teachers, so I had great role models. And then eventually I got my bachelor's and master's degree in speech communication when I was, in college. But I went dormant for a long time in terms of actual speaking. And I didn't become a professional speaker till I was 40 years old. So one of the things that I can really relate to is when we have this, even as a little kid, you like have this knowledge inside of you, like, I know I could do this. I have something to say, or I could help people. That's usually the people who work closely with me, because we're a special breed of folks, right? Not everybody wants to do this. Not everybody wants to get on stage or virtual or otherwise. A lot of times people who want to have a message shared, there's something inside that's like a calling. And that's what I'll reflect it to. It's like, it is a calling. And that is unexplainable, unarguable. Like, it's just there. And even if you're scared, you still are like compelled to, right? And you maybe overcome that fear. That's what's, I think, really, really powerful. And so those are the people that I like to serve. Like, you have someone you want to help, you know that you have a service or a product or a message or something that's going to help people, but you just don't know how to get it all put together. That's where I come in.
And it's so true. You guys know it. You guys know this part of my journey. The very first time I got on stage and came from behind the shame of the
Yeah.
foster care part of my life. Who knew? But 2 years later, that became my Goldcast video, which now has 40 million views. And
There you
I
go.
didn't even, and I thought no one's going to want to hear it. What if they get up and walk out? But I knew I needed to purge.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I tell people, I know this is a bit crass, but I tell people your story is like gas, better out than in. It's true. It's true. So wait a minute. You said 600 talks, but then you said you didn't start doing it professionally until you were 40. So how did you do all this in just 6 weeks?
Ah, you're so sweet. Well, it's been a little longer. Yeah. Well, my first year, so it's kind of an interesting story. I was hired by a personal development company that I really, really loved already. I was like magically in love with them. They were amazing. I had a lot of shifts in my life, done a lot of work with them personally. And they said, we get our clients through speaking. Like you get to go out and talk about mindset and, bring people into our workshops. These are in-person workshops, weekend workshops. So they just said, go locally and speak to as many groups as you can and bring in clients. So I said, okay, that sounds awesome. Like this is like my picture should be in the dictionary for this job, right? And so I started to do that. My first year, I just got busy, got on the phone, talked to people that I knew, and I booked 83 speaking engagements that first year, just in the local area. So it's just like you want to hear about mindset. Everyone needs help with their mindset. Everybody, like, so that was an easy one, right? And then I would fill up all the workshops. I'd fill up about 10 workshops a year and pass out pieces of paper, have people put their credit card on it, and away we go. And then they get to have a major life shift and life change. So I think that's like a big thing for people to, for me anyway. I need to know that whatever I'm offering is really going to help someone, right? Like it's
Yeah.
really, really going to make a big difference. It's not about the selling widgets, it's about transformation, which I know you're all about that. So
I love it.
yeah,
Yes.
anything we can do to raise the consciousness of all of us is the game I'm interested in playing.
Well, I'm interested in asking you some things because I have my coaching portal and I have I do my selected speaking gigs, not nearly as many as before COVID, because when I was averaging around 150 paid speaking gigs a year before COVID, and then boom, I remember the day that it came out, and it was so interesting to me because my speaking gigs that were way down, because this was at like February, and then my December ones first, then November, they started with the ones furthest away, canceling until they were right up, all gone. So I had to pivot. But now that we were coming out of it, I've pivoted myself and turned more to television and things like that. But let's talk about those people who now were sitting in offices or whatever they were doing something differently before COVID. Now they find themselves in this wonderful world of solopreneur or whatever they're doing that's different. And their story needs to come out. They feel that calling that you were speaking of. Now, a lot of people, 90% of the population has trouble speaking publicly. Why do you feel so many people are nail biters when it comes to just speaking? We do it all day, every day.
Sure.
Why is it so different from our living room, Lisa, to the boardroom, to the stage?
Sure. And I mean, I was in another event. I was speaking at a live event the other day, and the speaker following me said something about people would rather be burned to death than speak public speaking. Oh
That's
my
pretty
gosh.
cool.
Oh, please don't get burned to death. There's
No,
an easier way.
it's
There's
not
an
that
easier way.
serious.
Yeah. I don't, just to be clear, I do have clients who get nervous around speaking, but most of the time they're already in. They just want the mic. Like, how can I get on more stages? How can I do this more? It's not about, we're not dealing with phobias and things like that.
Okay.
However, I call it, and so at that level, I'll call it speaker's kryptonite. And this is where like you're not afraid of speaking, but you're afraid to like really share your stuff, right? And speaker's kryptonite can show up like, I don't know if anyone wants to hear what I have to say. Kind of like what you were saying before, like you're scared to share, be vulnerable.
Yes.
What if they don't want what I have? What if no one ever invites me on my stage? All those kind of things. That's the speaker's kryptonite that I work with. on the like fear of public speaking side, I mean, there's so many reasons why as a kid our voice was not okay to be heard. So many opportunities to be humiliated, made fun of, be shamed, be quieted, be silenced, and that whether it could be from your voice maybe sounds different, and so kids are gonna, jump on that bandwagon and make from whatever they can grab. Or maybe it's you get called up to the board and the teacher says, "Oh, okay, Susie, Johnny, come up to the board and do your problem
Oh,
or read out loud or whatever." So there's just
oh,
like so many different ways that you can have that. Just it could just be one instance that you felt that humiliation and embarrassment, and your system is like, nope, we're not doing that again.
yeah,
Shut it down.
yeah. So,
Could be lots of different
Lisa,
things.
since you work with entrepreneurs primarily, how
Mhm.
important is it, and to walk us through this, how show them why, give a couple examples if you could
Mhm.
of why it's important for an entrepreneur to know about speaking gigs and how they take your business and your brand to
To
the
another
next
level.
level. 'Cause,
Yeah.
here's why. I have a lot of entrepreneurs that coach with me, and when it comes to speaking, they say, "Well, I just joined Toastmasters," and they believe that's and yeah, I see that. Look, you know what I'm saying too. I mean, nothing against it. I was a Toastmaster.
It serves a wonderful purpose
It
for
really
sure,
does.
but
The
it's a
ah
little different.
counter, the grammarian, the timing, all of that, the extemporaneous part, table talks, all of that stuff. But for your business, it's tell
Different.
us go ahead. Tell them why it's so important if they want to stay viable within their brand or with the business.
Well, especially I work with a lot of coaches, and a lot of times they start with a one-on-one model, which is great place to start. And if that's what truly lights you up, then great. That's a wonderful place as well. However, in terms of scalability, you want to start thinking bigger. I always think of the koi pond. Like, you build a small koi pond, you're going to have small koi fish, bigger koi pond, bigger koi fish. So you have to think, what kind of pond are you building? What kind of business are you building? How scalable do you want it to be? And finding that balance for yourself. And if you want to scale, then you also need to be speaking to more people. Now with virtual, with Zoom, and everyone's on board. I mean, we could speak virtually before, but now everyone's on board. When you are able to share your message to more people, you are maximizing the time you have here on earth, right? And I think that's really, really important. We all do speak, just like what Lauren's saying. We all speak, but like, are you speaking with intention? Can you use it in a way to build your business, grow your business? Absolutely. And really highlight and find and magnetize the people that are best suited for your personality, your skills. And they're looking for solutions. So like, hey, if you have a problems that you can solve, like helping people, like what I do is help people get their talk ready to rock, show them how to stay booked consistently. That's a skill that a lot of people could really benefit from. And I
Absolutely.
don't want people to be scared by their own self and stop, because that means they're not helping the people that they need to be helping.
Mm. So, how much of a person's journey story or backstory, if you will, uh, should be included inside of the
The
talk?
talk.
Yeah, that you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because
I think it depends.
a lot of people don't know how to get out of. Next thing you know, the whole talk's over, and all they've done is, and then my sister,
Yeah.
right? You know where I'm going. So talk about that. A lot of
Yeah,
people
when
don't.
I go through a get your talk ready to rock session, I consider myself a talk doula. So when I do want to, so I have this as a word, as a yeah, talk doula, ring that bell.
I love
Um,
that.
I do have a boot camp where someone can go through the whole thing by themselves. But when someone works one on one with me, we will literally get that baby birthed. And I have a template that I follow. However, everyone's talk is unique to them. It's like snowflakes. We're all individually, we're snowflakes and we're all different, but put us all together, we're snow. So it's like, yes, there's talks, but and some people's story, it's really relevant to the business or relevant to warming up the audience, things like that. I wouldn't say there's like an exact amount of time, I would say, spending on your story. But what we do is we look at the whole piece. I start in a 30-minute format, and meaning like, okay, let's say you have 30 minutes to talk. Okay, we got to give, about 5 minutes for the intro, or, getting you on stage, whatever that warm up is, 5 minutes at the end. So that means you really have 20 minutes. If you have 3 points, we're talking like 6, 7 minutes a point. So you can't go through your decades of experience.
Right.
You're not going to teach everyone everything, nor should you in a half hour. How could they do that? How could they
Impossible.
learn everything? You can't, but you certainly can give them, call it a little taste. And it's like, another thing I'll say, Lauren, is don't Thanksgiving dinner your audience. Don't give them so much that they are full and passed out on the couch after your talk, right? You want them to have just a little testers, little tasters, ooh, I want some more of that kind of
Right.
thing.
A la carte.
A la carte, yeah. I'll take a little
buffet.
extra.
It's I'm so glad we're having this conversation, because it's still not too late, you guys. I tell you all the time. We are headed into June, and that is, let me see, January, March, April, the last.
Not halfway there.
Yes, halfway there. That's the last month in Q2. So that means you still have the whole rest of the year ahead of you. What is the first thing a person needs to do that says, well, Leisa, I don't know where the hell to start? Where do they go when they come to you? Do they go to one of your programs? Do they come to a workshop? Do they get a discovery call? How do they start the process with you?
Sure. Lots of different ways to come into the orbit. One way, if you just like, oh, I want more tips from her. Gosh, I wish that interview had lasted hours, right? Well, then you can go to getspeakinggigsnow.com and get a free copy of the 5 top tips to get more speaking gigs. So that gives you some great tips just right into your inbox. It's straight from, I wrote them. They're things that I still use to this day, and they're free for you. If you are more of like, oh, that's the sign I was looking for, I need to be starting speaking yesterday, I need to get on the call with her, then yes, I will offer a speaker readiness assessment. And thank you. Oh, sure. Let's see. It's at getspeakinggigsnow.com. And so if you want a speaker's readiness assessment, that is, there we go. Okay. I'm just looking at the comments trying to catch that. So we'll put in another link there. But thank you.
Go ahead.
If you're looking for a speaker readiness assessment, that's getspeakinggigsnow.com/chat. And that way we'll have a deeper conversation about your goals and what it is that you're trying to do. And I'm happy to give you resources, and if it works out that you and I should be working together, then we'll talk about that as well.
Yeah, talk about that. And if you want to just send her an email, there it is on the screen, Leisa at getspeakinggigsnow.com. So Leisa, let's shift a little bit and go over to the part. Let's talk about those speakers that are already doing it.
Yep.
Because I just and I saw it on your website, and it's a real thing. It's just not my thing. Selling from the stage. I don't sell from the stage.
Yeah, see, that's all I do. We're the opposite there.
Right. I tell from the stage. Because what my programs are not, it's not conducive for me. But for those who sell from the stage, let's talk about that, because there are some that are they just need to sit it down. I'm telling you, I was in a thing in Miami last week, and it was so. Let me just run this down.
It was a pitch fest. It sounds like.
Yeah.
I hate those.
There was one person who he wasn't captivating the audience. So he was getting pissed that there was side talk. He got mad at the registration table. Take that outside. He admonished everybody. And I said, you shouldn't have to demand the attention through threats. You should be able to do it through your message.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, talk about the integrity piece about your offerings.
Oh my gosh.
Please.
So important. So important.
Thank you.
Yeah. One of the things that like I was sharing when I got started, I mean, it was literally like hand out a piece of paper and, get credit cards. And it worked, because here's why. absolutely was not, even though I always am offering something, it's an invitation to what I do,
Yeah.
typically, but it's not a sales pitch. It is, I a 100%, a billion percent believe you have to give value to the audience. You have to. And otherwise, why would they listen? Like, why why would they? So you got to, and this is where my love for teaching comes in. It's like, teach them something, give them an experience, enlighten them with something that they didn't know, like make their life better. I don't like, you gotta bring
That's
something to
right.
the table, right?
That's right.
And then you've earned some permission to go, if you want more, here you go. Here, you can just do this thing. But you are not, again, kind of that same thing what I was saying before. You're not going to Thanksgiving dinner them. You're not going to say, and I have this and I have that and I have this and this and buy my stuff and buy my me.
Yeah.
No. So it also I'll go back to for a second. So I always say you need to give a value to your audience. And now here's where it gets tricky, the balancing act of also giving value to your business. And so what happens, I work with a lot of heart-centered people, and they are really good at giving, really, really good at giving, over giving, right? And you know, when we do
Yeah.
too much water, you're going to drown, right? So something that could be good for you could still be unhealthy.
Yeah.
And so they give on stage, and they forget to ask for something or to offer something or to have an invitation because they feel, oh, I don't want to be silly. I don't want to, and that's actually one of the biggest fears that I deal with people. It's like, how can we make it so that you as a speaker are so excited and you're in love with whatever that offer is, because it's not about the money. It's going to help other people. And when you're coming from that place, it just changes the energy, right? It's like, oh my gosh, like, I cannot wait to give this to you. If you'd like it, you're welcome to it. Like,
Right.
please
Right. But
have it.
but here's one of the issues I know a lot of people deal with. I myself used to deal with it. It took a long time for me to really. As a matter of fact, I just see there transparency. I just wrote down school quote because I thought of the question. I was like, damn, I got to get that quote in. It's 2 weeks late. It's 2 weeks late because it's something I've never done. I've been speaking, but it's stretched out over a week, an orientation for a college, right? And it's 90 minutes of observation, 90 minutes on the front end. They want me to speak, and 90 minutes at the back end. And I find myself going, what do I charge?
Sure.
What do I charge? Talk about that. So many people, especially getting started, don't know how to value the value.
Right. And that's something I'll baby step people into, because here's one of the things that I see some other programs will do. It's just like, you need to charge this much and and this is, you should be selling for this much and such. But they're forgetting and this is where all the years of mindset work, that I would lead all these, deep personal development workshops. If the person who's a speaker, no one could do your push-ups for you when you're on stage. Like, you're it. And if you don't believe in what you're offering, what you're selling, your worth, your value, or whatever, and you say a number that's so far out of reach, you are going to it's not going to work. You gotta and I think it's like, let's baby step you. We're just going to baby step you into that higher ticket, so that you can build evidence confidently that, oh, hey, they said, oh my gosh, they said yes. They're paying me money. What? This is great.
Right.
It worked. Okay, next time I'm going to double my rates or whatever.
Real quick, do you remember? I do. I remember my first speaking gig check. Speaking gig, and it was $350, but it was for 45 minutes, and I was like, oh my God, I'm like a doctor.
45 minutes.
I felt like, because then what I did was I was like, that's less than an hour, and I broke it down for like how much it was per 5 minutes per minute, and I was looking at that. I was like, and it was really something to process, because a lot of us deal with imposter syndrome and all kinds of things, feelings of not being worthy. How can this be? Do you take people? What do you do when you hit that roadblock where they'd like, but isn't that too much, or this, that, and the other?
Mhm.
Because some people want to start off like they're a Les Brown or something.
Yeah, Carnegie Hall, and I've never given one talk. You're like, well, let's just hold on a second.
Slow your roll, right?
Let's.
So do you help with that?
I do, and but most of my focus is really not so much the speaker fee. It's more like, who should you be in front of to attract your ideal clients? Where can we really maximize your time and efforts? And like for you, I know you specialize in getting those paid speaking gigs. A lot of people don't have that persistency and that willingness
Mm.
to cold call and go and that alone can then be a stumbling block. They're like, oh God, there's just that phone gets so heavy,
Like being
right?
a telemarketer that gets hung up on all the time.
Yeah, you have to have thick skin. You do. You have and that willingness to keep going even if you get a no.
So
So
please,
yeah, I do it a
I'm
little
sorry.
different.
I got a great question. I don't want to forget
Sure.
it. Senior moments, they out the
Go
window.
for it.
So what about that fine mixture, that recipe of free talks for the entrepreneur, for
Mhm.
rotaries, community places that you can speak at for free to get to
Mhm.
the other? Is there a process? And when an entrepreneur is saying, okay, I need to get out there and get in front of my ideal audience,
Mhm.
how do they know? Because sometimes you have to just do free stuff, right?
Okay, so here's where you and I have a different perspectives on it.
Okay,
Um,
because yours is for entrepreneurs.
yeah, so I don't classify free, not free, or free, paid, not paid. I don't. That's not my focus.
What? Okay,
The
go
key,
go
the,
there.
the the speaker fee is not my focus. I have a chapter in my book or like a section in my speakers training academy about how to monetize your speaking. And a speaker fee is one way that you can monetize your speaking. My goal for all my clients is that you monetize every single speaking engagement, whether there's a speaker fee or not,
Right.
because you can often make more money through offering what your programs are than the speaker fee. And then
That's
that
so
just takes away
true.
the whole thing. Also, it's easier to get a what do they call, like some people will say free speaking gigs. I don't ever classify them that way. I think, hey, if you are inviting me or any of my clients to come and speak to their ideal audience, like, would you want to be in a room of like your ideal prospect
That somebody
clients?
already did all the work to get them there.
Yeah, you just show up and give them all your magic love and your expertise, and you're providing massive value. Hello, the whole room's going to fall in love with you. that's 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 awesome.
That's right. That's right.
Like, so we focus more on getting you in the right spot and how can you do that quickly, because I have found you can get them a lot faster. Like if you're starting, like if you're listening and you're starting from, you're like, gosh, man, I've never done a speaking engagement. Well, they're out there. They are, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. I mean, they are out there ready for the taking, but you need to, and I'm a big fan of being ready to be ready. You have to be ready. If you say like, "Oh, I want to be a speaker," guess what the next question is going to be? Is going to be, "Oh, well, what do you speak on?" And you need to have an answer. And if you're not ready, you're going to literally like shy away from those opportunities, like you're going to be like, "Oh, I'm not ready yet. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to talk about yet." No, you got to be ready. And so that's a big part of what I do. It's like, let's get you ready to be ready.
I see it. I see it. I see you. I just saw it. I had to download. It was like you getting, well, I'll just use this example. Hold on. It'll be, because this day is coming. So don't get mad at me, because it's gonna happen. It's like you getting someone ready for the prom.
Oh, yes. How
And
cute.
that day is coming. She is
That's an
so
old photo.
adorable.
She's so cute.
Yeah,
She's 19 now. So that's
she
like an old photo.
is.
Uh-huh. Yep.
How do you still look the same? I hate you.
I
That girl is 19
laughter.
now.
She's 19 now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
Color me shocked. Okay. So, but really, I see you getting people ready, like, now standing them in front
Yeah.
of the mirror,
Yep.
watching them take the pictures on the staircase, and all
Yeah.
of that. And I get it now. I love that. So let's say, for instance, I'm going to pick a category. Let's say
Sure.
there's a cosmetologist listening. And
Yeah.
she goes, but what about me? How would I get in front of my ideal client, which is
Oh my gosh.
okay.
Well, first of all, it depends on what if they're doing makeup or hair or whatever, but
Right.
I know women, and every woman wants makeup tips, like how to be better, how to make it easier, how do you look younger, all the things. How do you get that fancy eyeshadow thing, but you don't know how to do it? You tried it, looked horrible, right? So I was on an event it's like about a year ago, and this one gal showed how to put on the eyelashes, right? Every woman was captivated. She went over time, and the women in the chat are like, let her keep going, let her keep going. Please, we want to know. We want to know. This is like all professional women. So there's literally if you're talking to the right people, they're interested. But you just have to make it again, you always want to have I think, a strategy of like how does this work for your business? Like say you're a cosmetologist and you're like, oh, I have an online course of how to get your lashes whatever, pick a pick a body part.
Right. You're the
how
how
to
to
do the
get those
whole
plumpable,
face, how to,
right.
whatever. Or maybe you want to like do some live events where you're actually putting people's makeup on or something like that. So it just depends. So you got to have a plan. What's the end game? I think of it like a tourist attraction, or an exhibition. Like if you're going to go to Mexico and swim with dolphins, you're signing up. You're like, I'm going to go swim with dolphins. Oh, I'm going to sign up for this dolphin swimming thing. They know, because I know when I go through that thing, I'm going to get to swim with dolphins. So your talk, same thing. Like you got to understand you are taking them on that dolphin trip. Like they want to swim with the dolphins.
Yeah.
As a speaker, you need to say, here's where we're going. I got you. It's going to be okay. We're going to get you to that attraction that you paid for, right? Or that you signed up for. So you got to.
What would you say, Leisa, is the biggest pushback you get with a new client? As far as when you say, well, you're going to need to do this if you want to get here. What is the thing that is there anything that you see consistently in your clients that you have to help people, that speed bump, let's say?
Yeah, it's
What kind of
probably
speed
just self-doubt. And that comes in all different ways. It can come from like maybe they're really good at putting their talk together, but then actually like, who do I call? How do I get on the stage? How do I ask? Whatever. And a lot of times, I mean, I'm blessed, and I don't know about you, Lauren, what your sales experience was, but I imagine if you got 714 paid speaking engagements, then you probably had some experience in sales, or
Yeah.
you just were like, I'll do whatever I need to do to get the sales, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of speakers, especially heart-centered people, haven't had the benefit of sales training. And so sometimes it'll be simple things like I'll be explaining like, how do you use a CRM, or how do you track a prospect? I don't teach like follow-up systems. That's not my specialty, but I'm like, well, they're like, well, I called him and I never heard back. I'm like, well, did you follow back?
Yeah,
Do you
right.
email him back, or, touch him another way, or, and so little things like that. So, because they're like, oh, I don't want to bother them. So you got to kind of, I call it like intuitive sales knowledge. Like I come from a lot of sales background. I used to have to make 100 phone calls a day. So like you can tell me no, and I'm like on to the next, right? I mean,
Right.
it sucks, but it is what it is. You got to keep that train moving.
Bye.
You got to keep that train moving.
Right. Keep that train moving.
And it can be really deflating to someone who's never really had that. They're like, oh, they said no to me. And I'm like, no, you were just offering them a piece of gum, and they said, no, I don't need any gum. I'm good. And you gotta move to the next. So
Tell us about one of your greatest success stories of someone you work with, that when someone asks you, tell us, like I just did, who pops in your head, which one of your clients, you don't have to use their name if you don't want to, but their story. What was it about it that you go, wow, this is why I do what I do?
Yeah, there's a lot that come to mind. One gal comes to mind particularly. She was speaking before we met. She was a speaker in something completely different, and she changed her subject matter significantly. It went from like software to, she had personally gone through a tragedy.
Oh.
And so that shifted her landscape. It's like, oh, whoa, like I'm completely shifting gears. And she spoke about grief, or wanted to speak about grief. And she said, how will it, she's like brilliant writer and just an amazing soul and really intelligent, really beautiful person. And she said, I don't know if I can talk about death on stage. Like, what if I start, I might cry, audience might cry. Like, is that okay? So what we did, remember, the talk doula comes out and we give a birth to that talk, that it's okay to talk about it. Again, if you don't want to sign up for the dolphin tour and then it's a shark tour. Like, you want to know what you're signing up for. So
Right.
as long as you're upfront, this is what we're talking about, and this is what the benefit is, then people, as long as we're all upfront, people will be interested, because guess what? We all die. We all know someone who has died. It is a part of life. Death is a part of life. So once she was able to go, okay, I have permission to do that. It's okay. And here's what I'm going to deliver. Oh man, all bets were off at that point. And she was able to get booked consistently. She did amazing. She literally got booked on her bucket list conference like a month later. I mean, so it was like her bucket list, not just like, oh, a little conference. Like, it was like, I really want to be on this stage. And she got paid speaking gigs and things like, even in the pandemic. So
Wow.
I just think of her because you just talk about cosmetology. I'm like, she talks about death. It's like, that's pretty significant.
That is pretty significant. And when you said software, I was like, how can you make that exciting? You know what I'm like?
Exactly, right?
But it's possible. It's possible.
It is.
So, take us down. I'm going to share it real quick. I'm going to show them. We're going to go inside and take a peek at your website. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. We're going to go inside. So maybe people can, because this way you're here. If they're a little intimidated or whatever, here we are on the site. So why don't you tell me where you want me to go? I can scroll down, and is there some place let's talk about the book real quick.
Sure. So, you're welcome to grab the book on Amazon, and the table of contents really follows all the modules that we have in our Speakers Training Academy as well. So you can see it starts with Get Your Talk Ready to Rock. I start with that because, like I said, if you don't have a talk, it's really hard to call yourself a speaker. So we just want to get that done so that you have something. You look at your baby's eyes. You're like, I love you. You fall in love with your baby.
Yeah. And
you're so excited. But then it's like, okay, so now we've got the talk done. I consider that like you need to have your tennis shoes if you're going to race, right? Like it's really hard to run in a race if you don't have the right shoes. So your talk is like your shoes. But where are you going to go? Where's the race going to lead you? You need to have create your own speaking gig pipeline. Pipeline, for those of you who are not in sales, it's like your prospects, like where might you speak? Paid, not paid? I don't know. We got to figure that out. Like, who's your best people? And then how are you going to monetize? And these are listed, but it's really kind of, as the trainer, coach person, I'm looking at all of this at the same time. Like, it's not necessarily chronological, like, oh, step 1 and then step 2, step 3. It's all sort of happening at the same time, but I have to break it down so that people can, learn as we go.
Yes.
So we talk about monetizing. What's the best way for that person to monetize? Also, as much as I am creative and fun and intuitive and all that stuff, I like to have systems in place so that I save time. I don't have to redo things over and over again.
Yes. You're like me. I tell people I take the lazy man's approach.
Yeah.
Get it done right first time.
Exactly. And create a system so you don't have to redo it over time or each time. So
correct.
Systems is about that. Getting your speaker sheet done, which, sometimes people come to me and they already have a speaker sheet, but a lot of times I find, and you were asking earlier, like, what do people get stuck on? I find people get stuck on their bio or their speaker introduction. And so sometimes that is where I spend, and I think, well, that's probably the easiest part, but no, it's really hard for people to talk about themselves and brag, like kind of quote unquote bragging. And so it helps when you have another person's perspective on it. And I had one gal, she sent me her bio. She was so resistant, so incredibly resistant to writing her bio. And she's a super intelligent, just moving, talented, amazing soul. And I said, write what you think and then send it over and then we'll tweak it. She sends me this thing. And I was like, I said, I'll call her Susie. She's like, I don't want to say her name.
Right.
Susie, what? I don't know nothing about you. After reading like 5 sentences here, I'm so lost. And so then I go, let's get on the phone. So we go through it. She had won contests. She had all these awards and accolades that she's like, oh, I forgot about that. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, yeah, I did that. I'm like, girl. So we spruced it on up, and now she's got her dream job. She's speaking once a week. She's moving people and changing lives, and it's amazing. So
That is
stuff like
amazing.
that.
And so that's a great place for us to go as we wrap this up today. We got about 6 more minutes. What's this do for you, Miss Leisa, when you see a person go from point A to point B, someplace they thought they couldn't or wouldn't get to, and then you see it actually happen? What's in it for you? Why do you do this?
One of the reasons that I'm on this earth, and I hope a lot of people have the same reason. I believe that everybody has a gift. I don't know what that gift is. Like we all are unique people.
Absolutely.
And when you give your gift, when I give my gift, I believe we are then raising the consciousness of all of humanity. And that is why I do what I do. So if there's something that I feel like, oh, I can give hope to this person, help break down the skills so that they can get their message out, then I am helping to create that ripple effect for them to help more people and give their gift, and so on and so on and so on. It's all for raising the higher consciousness of our planet and our human race. Other than that, nothing.
That is beautifully said. Beautifully said. And what do you do? Are you out there speaking yourself?
I do. I speak about 60 times a year. I love speaking virtually. It's awesome. I actually, it's different than you. I don't travel to speak. That's not my favorite thing to do. I like to speak locally or virtually because that's my preference. What's super cool about speaking is that you can do it however you want.
And you don't have to catch some exotic flu.
Exactly.
So I feel you there. I might take that tip and run with it. So does Leisa, do you have any events, or do you have group workshops or things? What's coming up? What's around the corner? What's next?
Well, for what's always coming around the corner is something called OC Speakers Network. That's a group I started back in 2013. And you can find us on the website, actually, as well. It's under one of the tabs there. And yeah, we meet once a month and we meet virtually. So it's open. It used to be in person. We used to meet right across the street from the beach, but now inside
for Orange County.
Orange County, California.
Okay.
But it's open to people all over the world, and we get lots of cool folks coming in. We do something called speaker referral circles there, where you can go and I'll actually split you into groups, and you say, here's what I'm looking for, and hopefully someone else knows how to connect you to that place that you're looking for. So I really set up an environment for you to ask, give, and receive speaking referrals.
That's nice. Nice. And that's so if you go here,
you can find it.
Now.com, you can find that, because I saw it, you guys. It's in there. Just click on the tabs. There's a lot of different things in there. Something for everyone.
Yeah.
And now, before we leave, again, let's hit on the importance of why, if you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur, and this wasn't something you thought you ever needed, we're inside of this new normal. And you need to find new things to pivot to be able to stay viable and keep your brand, your message, your ideal client coming consistently. It's really dangerous to think that we can continue with lulls and gaps without some backup or contingency plan. So I believe what Leisa's programs have is all of that gooey goodness to kind of tie it all together, so that if something unexpected shows up, you're ready for it, right or wrong?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, what's your big golden? Here's your Jerry Springer moment, by the way.
Oh dear. Let me get my earrings off. Hold on.
No, not that. No, at the end when he's like, when he comes on and he goes, "Hi," no matter what. Da, 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 da. So if everybody out there, let's say we're talking to all the entrepreneurs, and there's quite a few of them here. If they were to forget everything you said, what would be the one part of today's conversation that you would hope they would never forget?
Just if you have a calling to speak, listen to it. It's not too late. I didn't become a professional speaker till I was 40. Any age, if you are feeling compelled to share something that's going to help other people, pick up that phone, answer the call, because you have something that's important.
You know what? I know you're not supposed to ask a woman her age, but you're the one that keeps saying, I didn't become one until I was 40. And that could have been last week. I would have thought it was like next year.
Oh, no, I'm 49.
So, really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Definitely a bell ringer.
Hey.
Isn't that right? And so there it is. Look at what she's doing today, you guys. It's never too late. Listen to your heart. Listen to that thing that pulls and is beckoning you, the calling that Leisa has spoken of today. And don't hesitate. Scrolling along the bottom, getspeakinggigsnow.com. And if you want to send her an email, just to chat it up with her, Leisa at Get Speaking Gigs Now. Leisa Reid, thank you so much for all that you're doing for people. I am going to definitely, I have some coaching clients that I need to send your way, specifically for this piece, because I really didn't understand what you really did until I got you in here.
Yeah.
You were
there's all different types of ways to speak, and speaking coaches come in all different forms, and we all have a different little lane that we're looking at.
That's right. And see, I wasn't intimidated because I don't believe we're in competition with each other. I believe we're in competition with time. Just like you said, we all know somebody who's dying or has died, and one day it will be us. So live every day as if it were your last. And I'm so grateful that you were here today. And thank you for putting up with all my back and forth. I bet you're like, because the person that connected us kind of had the same thing happen. I don't know.
I didn't know that.
Something was going on back then too. And I don't know what it wasn't physical, but it was something. And we ended up pre-recording hers and getting it out there. So Jill, wasn't it Jill Ludlam that put us? Yeah. And I look forward to it. Perhaps we'll cross each other's paths on a stage somewhere in the universe before it's all over. I thank you again.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Yes, thank you. And thank all of you. Listen, tomorrow I'll be back, hopefully, God willing. I'll meet you out front on the front porch, and we'll have another illuminated conversation, just like the one we had here today with Leisa Reid. Get out there and be the change you want to be in the world. Be the blessing you want to receive. See you tomorrow. Thanks, Leisa. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Oh, I'm standing right here holding up a sign.